نحمده ونصلي على رسول الكريم أما بعد بسم الله. So Surah Al-Rahman is a Makki surah, 78 ayat and 3 ruku. The name Ar-Rahman comes from the beginning of the surah, which starts with the word Ar-Rahman. Another name of the surah is Urusul Quran, the bride of Quran, based on a hadith in Bayhaqi, narrated by Ali radhiyallahu anhu, لِكُلِّ شَيْءٍ عَرُوسٌ وَعَرُوسُ الْقُرْآنِ Ar-Rahman, Surah Al-Rahman. Everything has a bride, and the bride of the Quran is Surah Al-Rahman. Brief synopsis of the surah is this surah enumerates various blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It mentions the revelation of Quran and its teachings to mankind. It highlights major favors in this universe from sun, moon, star, trees, fruits, crops, etc. It refers to various miracles, one of them being the barrier between fresh and salty water. And it also, in between various bounties that are mentioned for people in paradise, also mentions the punishment of disbelievers in the hereafter. Let's go to the verses of the surah. Ar-Rahman is one of the unique names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And it is said that the surah begins with this word to introduce the people of Makkah to the word Ar-Rahman. Because when in Surah Hudaybiyah, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam asked them to write Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, they said, who is Ar-Rahman? We don't know Ar-Rahman. So this surah Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describes and introduces the word Ar-Rahman as his name, and also many favors related to this particular name. The name Ar-Rahman comes from Rahima, the root word Rahamin, which means blessings. Allahu a'lam. Then we learn about all the different languages of the world that are manifestation of the communication that is taught to humans by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allamahul Bayan. And if you look around as to close to 7,000 languages that are out in the world, truly you can only understand such a variety, can only be from the treasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And yet these languages are spoken and understood in various parts of the world. And it is truly by his grace that he has given us tools to communicate. And you can see the minimal communication mechanisms that are out there for non-humans, whether that's animals or even plants. And yet for humans, it is a much more mature way to communicate. All celestial bodies follow a predefined orbit without deviation. Ash-Shamsu wal-Qamaru bi-husban. So if you look at the galaxy and the solar system, you would realize for millions of years, all the different bodies, sun, moon in particular, have been going around their orbits without even a slight deviation. Because if they deviate, let's just say we could sense that, especially the deviation of the sun, we could sense the impact on Earth, because if Earth is a few degrees away from a few kilometers away from sun, beyond what it does today, it could get really cold. Or if it's a few kilometers close to the sun, because of, let's say, change in its orbit, it could get really hot. So this is where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made sure, has commanded all the different celestial bodies to follow a very regulated orbit that they do not deviate from. It is not allowed to tamper with weighing scales or measuring less in transactions. وَأَقِيمُوا الْوَزْنَ بِالْقِسْطِ وَلَا تُخْسِرُوا الْمِيزَانَ. And this refers to our daily dealings. This could refer to, here it's mentioning weighing scale. This is about making sure that every transaction is done on a just basis, and then there is no misdealing. Man is created with clay and jinn with fire. So خلق الإنسان من صلصال كالفخار وخلق الجان من مارج من نار. So man is created from clay and jinn is created from fire. And there are different points of sunrise and sunset during summer and winter. I mean, as we look at this verse, Rabbul Mashriqaini wa Rabbul Maghribain, he's the Lord of the two east and the two west, or 2 points of sunrise and the 2 points of sunsets. And another place, Allah says he's Lord of all the Mashriq and all the Maghrib in plural. So this is what it means, that every day sun would rise from a slightly different point, and similarly sun would set on a slightly different point from its previous day. So here in particular, it is noticeable across the two seasons, in summer and winter, that the location of sunrise and sunset is different. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is reminding us that he's the Lord, he's the one who has made the sun. Think about such a heavenly body, such, running in its own orbit, and yet you could see the movement between different seasons. And this is truly through the power of subhanahu wa ta'ala in how he has created the mechanisms of this universe. There is barrier between fresh and salty water such that it's an unseen barrier and they don't cross and mix with each other. مرج البحرين يلتقيان بينهما برزخ لا يبغيان. Everything will perish except the being of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. كل من عليها فان ويبقى وجه ربك ذو الجلال والإكرام. We talked about wajh, meaning face literally, but really referring to the being of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's that, his being will remain and everything will perish. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala takes care of daily affairs of all his creations. So imagine, the creations we see above the ground, under the sea, up in the skies, microscopic creations, things that are alive now, things that passed away in the past, living, non-living. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala takes care of all of these creations and fulfill their needs. يَسْأَلُهُ مَنْ فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ كُلَّ يَوْمٍ هُوَ فِي شَأْنٍ. So every being is asking, every creation is asking whoever is asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he takes care of all their affairs on a daily basis. The focus on the Day of Judgment will be accountability of jinns, of humans and jinns. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, سَنَفْرُغُ لَكُمْ أَيُّهَا الثَّقَلَانِ. And sanafrugu means I will make myself available. And we talked about how, of course, nothing occupies Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He's beyond that understanding that we have on how we get busy in something and then we cannot do anything else. But here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is emphasizing that because all the matters of the world would no longer be applicable anymore. I mean, there's no need for people to be fed. There's no need for all the systems to run, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the Day of Judgment will rise everything to be demolished, and then the accountability will begin. So the primary focus on that day would be to take account of the deeds of humans and jinns. No one will be able to escape the day of resurrection. يا معشر الجن والإنس إن استطعتم أن تنفذوا من أقطار السماوات والأرض فانفذوا لا تنفذون إلا بسلطان. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala challenged here, O jinn or ins, if you have the capability to break away, to run away, to pass on from this, outside of this earth, out in the skies, if you can run away from the grasp of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then do so. And definitely you cannot do so. لا تنفذون إلا بسلطان, except with this power. All actions are recorded in the book of deeds, and body parts will be witness of people's activity in the hereafter. فَيَوْمِذٍ لَا يُسْأَلُ عَنْ ذَنْبِهِ إِنسٌ وَلَا جَانٌ. So that day no one will be asked any question, because there's no need to. The book of deeds have it written, as well as the body parts will speak. Even if someone is asked and they deny what they did, any sins that they did, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will seal their mouths and have their body parts speak and be a witness against them. Criminals will be marked uniquely such that they could be dragged for punishment in hellfire, and they will be recognized by the angels of hell. يُعْرَفُ الْمُجْرِمُونَ بِسِيمَاهُمْ فَيُؤْخَذُ بِالنَّوَاصِي وَالْأَقْدَامِ. With their forelocks and their feet, they'll be dragged to Jahannam. Great rewards for those who fear standing before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and remain conscious of His stature. وَلِمَنْ خَافَ مَقَامَ رَبِّهِ جَنَّتَانِ. So the two gardens for muqarrabun that are mentioned. So those are the two gardens for people who are aware of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's stature, of His majesty all the time, and that is reflected in their day-to-day actions. And the other meaning is that they are always afraid of standing before Allah on the Day of Judgment, and that's what prohibits them or saves them from committing sins. We learn about the qualities of two gardens for muqarrabun, the nearest believers to Allah. So there are multiple qualities mentioned. Zawata afnan, that they will have many branches, meaning they will have lots and lots of trees, lots of vegetation, greenery. Fiha aynan tajriyan, two springs will be running in those gardens. Fihima min kulli fakihatin zawjan, every fruit will have two types. Muttaqina ala furushin bata'inuha min istabraq wa janal jannatayn dan. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describes the inner part of their bedding, how that will be made of high quality silk, thick high quality silk, so let alone the outer part, how beautiful that would be. Everything, fruits will be near to them so that they can take pleasure from those fruits. And there will be فِيهِنَّ قَاصِرَاتُ الطَّرْفِ لَمْ يَطْمِثْهُنَّ إِنسٌ قَبْلَهُمْ وَلَا جَانٌ كَأَنَّهُنَّ الْيَاقُوتُ وَالْمَرْجَانُ. So describing the beauty of the woman that will be for these believers. Good deeds lead to good rewards. So it is a principle through this ayah that we learn, هَلْ جَزَاءُ الْإِحْسَانِ إِلَّا الْإِحْسَانِ. If you do good deed, there will be a good reward for you. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is reminding us of that. Of course, we do not earn the reward that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us only through mercy, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But the prerequisite of earning His mercy, of at least getting His mercy, is that you do good deeds and perform according to His commands. We learn about the qualities of two gardens for Ashabul Yameen, the people of the right. وَمِن دُونِهِمَا جَنَّتَانِ. So these gardens will be lower in grade compared to the other two gardens. مُدْهَامَّتَانِ. They will be dark green, meaning loss of vegetation due to irrigation in those gardens. فِيهِمَا عَيْنَانِ نَضَّاخَتَانِ. So again, they would have two springs gushing. فِيهِمَا فَاكِهَةٌ وَنَخْلٌ وَرُمَّانٌ. So they will have fruits in it. فِيهِنَّ خَيْرَاتٌ حِسَانٌ حُورٌ مَقْصُورَاتٌ فِي الْخِيَامِ. So again, qualities of women that would be in those gardens. لَمْ يَطْمِثْهُنَّ إِنسٌ قَبْلَهُمْ وَلَا جَانٌ. And finally, مُتَّكِينَ عَلَى رَفْرَفٍ خُضْرٍ وَعَبْقَرِيٍّ حِسَانٍ. So these people will be reclining on carpets of rich quality and have cushions in there. We learn how, similar to humans, jinns will also enter paradise and live with wives. And we know that from this verse, لَمْ يَطْمِثْهُنَّ إِنسٌ قَبْلَهُمْ وَلَا جَانٌ, meaning no man or jinn would have touched those women. And again, that means there would be jinn that would have wives in the paradise. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the only being worthy of honor and majesty. تَبَارَكَ اسْمُ رَبِّكَ ذِي الْجَلَالِ وَالْإِكْرَامِ. And this is a special, these are the special names that we are advised by Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam to use to make supplication, dua. Alizu bi ya dhal jalali wal ikram. Be constant with ya dhal jalali wal ikram, meaning O possessor of majesty and honor. This surah has the verse repeated 31 times. فَبِأَيِّ آلَاءِ رَبِّكُمَا تُكَذِّبَانِ. So which of the favors of your Lord would you deny? and it is mustahab to say when you hear someone recite this ayah outside of the prayer, لا بشيء من نعمك ربنا نكذب فلك الحمد. We do not deny any of your favors, our Lord, and yours is the praise. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم.